Yeah, first of all, I would like to state that, of course, every change always gives first a kind of feeling of insecurity, like the change of a government in the country. Everybody is thinking, how will it continue and so on. But in the church it is normal, especially also related to our Capuchin order, from time to time, sometimes after a shorter time, sometimes after longer, there is a change. Now, regarding Father Tom, of course, I didn't know him 20 years ago, and I didn't know at that time that one day I would be here, the bishop. The first time, actually, I met him by chance in Rome when I was a general councillor. He didn't know exactly who I was, and I didn't know who he was. Only later, when I came to work here, I knew him closer. And that was as parish, not yet, but as assistant parish priest in Doha, where I met him in activity for the first time. And when I saw how he was made, I could say, I took him as the first choice when the parish priest in Doha was to be replaced. And of course he had the very difficult task at that time also of the construction of this big church center, the first one in Doha. What he did in a very good way, also pastorally. After that, of course, he was also a little bit tired, and I had even some reservations to bring him to Dubai, not because of his lack of quality, but because I thought he might be a little bit too tired. Now, finally, I decided, together with the religious superior, let him move to Dubai, and his predecessor here was moved to Doha, and I think on the whole it was a good change. Personally, I always found he has a particular gift to speak to the people, especially in his homilies, in a way that people understand it. And especially for children, he has a gift. I think only a few priests have it in the same way. And this is something we shouldn't underestimate. To see someone who succeeds to fascinate the children and the youth in a moment of the society or of the age where very few have an access. And I think that is something. Then, of course, I noticed that he tried to change a little bit the settings of the parish in a way to answer better to the changed situation on a whole. It is obvious that the demography of the parish has changed within the last decades in a remarkable way. Not only that the number of Filipinos has grown in a way we didn't know earlier, but also that the whole universality of the church is present here in Dubai in a particular socio-economic context. And I think he has done what he could in this moment. We shouldn't forget Dubai is like a diocese, complex in its structure, complex in its composition of different nationalities, different church traditions within the same parish, and that's not an easy thing. And sometimes people may a little bit forget that it requires an enormous knowledge of the situation and also leadership, and that is not always given to everybody. But I think during these few years he has continued in a good way what his predecessors have built up in a marvelous way, and nobody is absolutely perfect. That is only God. But I think that Father Tomasito has done a good job here in Dubai.
Fantastic.
Yeah, of course, when I met him the first time in Doha, I always thought in the first moment, this man is not very serious. He's always joking. Only later I discovered that behind this humor and these jokes, there is a spiritual depth which may not always have been seen and felt by certain faithful who have the tendency to see the priest as somebody very serious, behaving in a proper manner. For example, that was another point. I had sometimes a little bit to smile when I saw him walk, even during the liturgy. I thought a little bit more liturgical style wouldn't be bad. But it was, I would say, compensated by his other qualities. Yeah, first of all, I would say that Father Lennie is still the Vicar General. That may change, of course, when he's moving now to Dubai, which in itself shows that I have a great esteem, otherwise I wouldn't have made him and let him come as a Vicar General. He has an experience in different levels. He was a religious superior, provincial, back home in Kerala. Later he had responsibilities in Delhi. And I know from the activities now during the last few years in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, that he has really the gift to approach people. By the way, even there I noticed that the children of the St. Joseph School, they run when they see Father Lennie on the compound, what means that children too have an access to him. He may not have the same style as Father Tomasito, that is not needed. He comes from another cultural background, and of course he is older than Father Tomasito, but he has also his experience, and I think he will be a very balanced shepherd in this multicolored parish of St. Mary's in Dubai. And I have no doubt that he will conquer the hearts also of the faithful in another way as Father Tomasito has done it. Yes. Yeah, first of all, I would like to encourage all of them to continue to be united as one parish, despite the complexity and the lack of space we have here. I know about the problem, and I didn't succeed until now to improve the situation. Unfortunately, I still hope that one day it will be possible. But to continue to be true, faithful, of course, believers in Jesus Christ as the living Son of God and our Savior, and guided by Our Lady, as we have Our Lady as the patron of this parish, who told the people in Cana, whatever Jesus tells you, do it. And I have no better message to the people here than to encourage them, whatever Jesus tells you, do it, and then you are on the right way.